The love fest between Nancy and Steve doesn't erupt, but why is there another love fest that we didn't see coming? Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LALATE. Hope you're great and safe. Thank you for joining me. This is Evenings LALATE every night at 6:45, and this one's about the check, and next comes up EIDL, our 1-hour programming block every night. Really great, exciting news tonight, and a news that we would never have seen, never had predicted. And it's not so much about the check, which brought some disappointment to viewers tonight, but it's the other thing that happened. The incredible spirit of helping one another that this channel is now evoking in its followers, who are now stepping up and helping thousands to get stimulus money they never knew they were entitled to right now. Here's the great news. If you're joining me for the first time and you never really watched this channel is at its 3-month mark. We start on April 25th, and we're just a few days past 3 months. We're going to break 180,000 subscribers tonight, which is just insane. So we're going to be at 200,000 subscribers, arguably, within the next 5 days. And it's because of one thing: the spirit of helping one another. Why is this so important in lieu of what happened with Nancy and Chuck Schumer today and Mitch McConnell and Mark Meadows, in which there was no plan to send you a stimulus check this next week, and you need that second stimulus check? It's because other viewers have stepped up to help you get other money that you may be entitled to, that may be worth 10 times the amount of a stimulus check that you had never considered getting, and is there for you to get. Let me get to those details shortly, but let me get to explain to you what the status is tonight of the check. The second stimulus check was agreed upon nearly 2 weeks ago by Steve and Nancy, but the problem was that the check is part of a stimulus package. And Steve Mnuchin, minutes ago, in a statement said that he would have agreed to send your stimulus check separately and other items separately, but that Nancy Pelosi wanted to do it as one deal and not parse it out. My view on negotiations is that when you agree on things, you can agree on half of the legislation that's good for the American public and then come back for another bill. So he wanted to send out those parts that he agreed upon, like the check, and then do the other items later. Nancy said no. Now, this comes a day in which Steve Mnuchin and Nancy couldn't even agree upon what they had agreed upon. Nancy Pelosi said today, in the end of the day, in a day in which she started by suggesting she was going to negotiate further, ended the day by saying she would not restart negotiations unless the Republicans came up $1 trillion. Now, she's not clear about her numbers. She's contradictory about her numbers. And the claim that she wants them to come up $1 trillion is just days after Steve Mnuchin said that $1 trillion is a bailout to states. A bailout to states, ironically, that Steve Mnuchin himself can curb and make a deal, but doesn't want to curb that as well. Both parties are very culprit in this discussion. I don't know when they come in with $2 trillion, she told reporters minutes ago in the Capitol. We can't wait until September 30th, people will die, a statement she said this morning. So is she just going to let people die in the month of August? It's not quite clear. Mitch McConnell said it's a liberal wish list. So Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and the Senate and the Congress, what is the current status? Let me explain this to you. It may not be important going forward, but I want you to know the truth right now because there's so much falsehood out there. Members of Congress are leaving now. They had not left, earlier this week, as incorrect reports had said. They're now leaving, but they're not leaving ostensibly permanently for the month of August. Let me explain why. Mitch McConnell, head of the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi, head of the House, agreed that if there's an agreement between her and Steve and Nancy, that the members of the Congress would fly back within 24 hours to vote on the agreed bill. The Senate would vote first. That would take one day. The House would vote the next day. It would take another day. And then the president would sign it the third day. Even if there is no such agreement, the president, by constitutional authority, can order them back if there's an agreement between Nancy and Mitch, Nancy and Steve. The president has inherent authority to order them not in recess, to end their recess and come back. So that's where they are. So you understand they've left, but they can come back. They promised to come back, and they can be ordered to come back. And once that is done, if it happens, a bill could be approved within 3 days. And according to Steve Mnuchin's representation, the funds could be sent out within 10 days thereafter. That's where we are. That's not to say it will happen. It's also not to say that we're going to wait to September. We simply just don't know. So if anyone's sitting back and saying there's nothing going to happen to September, we just don't know that. There's no vote until September. We just don't know that. They're never going to come back until September. We just don't know that. We just don't know what's going to happen. Nancy and Steve are never going to meet again in the next 4 weeks. We just don't know that. We just don't know that. And I'm not going to predict it. And you shouldn't be the naysayer, the Mr. Donut guy, and say it's not going to happen, because we just don't know. We emphatically just don't know. What we do know is that there's a September 30th, I think, deadline for, yes, I think it's a September 30th deadline that the members of House and Senate have to reach a congressional budget. And if they don't, this government shuts down, as if everything else is shut down at this point. So there is that deadline looming as well. The day also had an interesting twist. This is good news. That some of you may have received $500 second stimulus checks, or may be receiving it in the next few days. What's going on, LALATE? So there is a $500 first stimulus check that is being routed out right now. The IRS said in a statement minutes ago. What is this? Under the first stimulus package, minor dependents who are 17 years of age or younger got a $500 first stimulus check. But a lot of them did not get them, and the people who did not get them were the children of people on SSDI, SSI, and Social Security benefits. A lot of my viewers, yes, those individuals who clearly predated this channel, which launched on April 25th, who in March did a non-filer filing for their child who's 17 years of age or younger, are going to be receiving either a direct deposit or a paper check for that child, $500 in the next few days, literally like tomorrow or the day after. I'm not talking like weeks from now. The next few days. I lost the tracking dates, but it was something like today, tomorrow, and the day after. So if you receive your benefits by SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, and you don't file taxes, but you also have a child dependent who's 17 years of age younger, and you did a non-filer filing in the spring for your first stimulus check, that child's $500 check is landing in your account in the next 2 to 3 days. If you receive your benefits by direct deposit, it's going to the direct deposit account. If you receive them by debit card, it's going to the debit card. And you receive it by paper check, it's coming by paper check. Really great news. Next, multiple checks, stimulus checks, has new hope tonight. And I'm not going to say that it's going to be signed into bill tomorrow. I'm just telling you the hope. The hope is that, guess what? The person who authored the multiple stimulus check bill is now a candidate for vice president. Kamala Harris, Democratic out of California, co-authored with Bernie Sanders and Ed Markey the bill that a lot of viewers on this channel want. The bill is the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act, which called for $2,000 monthly stimulus check every single month until the pandemic is over. There would be an initial $2,000 per child with a limit of 3 children, a maximum of $10,000 per family. That's for those clickbait channels that are still putting $10,000 in the title. Stimulus check, $10,000, like that. That's what they were referring to. Kamala Harris her threshold was individual who made less than $120,000. So a lot of people are now wondering, well, wait a second, this is incredible news. What if Biden-Harris wins in the fall? Will we see multiple stimulus checks? Well, there's an effort by news reporters, because this is new, her announcement as VP, whether Biden would endorse and support her proposed legislation, which is introduced legislation. There's actually a bill that's been introduced. Biden said in his plan, and here listen to the language, is that we must spend whatever it takes without delay to meet public health needs and deal with the mounting economic crises. So he wanted to spend a lot of money, but to be facetious, to be skeptical, he wouldn't give us the breakdown. So there's that great news. Finally, this. The greatest news of the day didn't come from those nincompoops in D.C., that guy that kicks the table, or that guy who called you a welfare state trying to get rich on the federal government, or the woman who brings out a purple poster and it doesn't leave a lot of stuff that they did agree upon, or the guy that goes on CNBC and says he's not coming to the table, or the guy with the glasses who doesn't do really good math. That's not where the great news came from today. It came from you. Yes. The great news came from the viewers of this channel today, who in overwhelming support, out of their own volition, many of them who I've never spoken to, many of who I don't even know, said, I want to help other viewers starting right today. And so what they have done is they said, hey, I got this during the stimulus packages that are still live. I want to help other people get it right now. And I thought, but I wasn't sure, that maybe some of you had not inherently watched my other videos and didn't know about UI or PUA or EIDL. And I thought, I make, 7, what is this? I don't know, 8 videos a day. Maybe they just don't watch that video. And, as a channel grows very quickly, you don't know if people are up to date on the other things you're reporting. So I said, hey, I dropped in the morning to LALATE, which has like 130,000 views already at, by 5 o'clock this afternoon. I said, hey, if you're an Uber Lyft driver, did you get an EIDL loan, which could be up to $150,000? Oh my God, like the whole sea just sort of crashed in and everyone's rushing in like, I want an EIDL, I want an EIDL loan. I thought people knew about these things. Well, here's the incredible great news. The incredible great news is that while some of you, I understand, $1,200 stimulus check is your only lifeline and there's no other hope for you, and I fully understand that situation for you. There are some other viewers who are Uber and Lyft drivers, or who are people who worked in 2019 but who have been laid off, are self-employed individuals who had some job in 2019 but that job is now gone kapoof because of the pandemic, are individuals who worked at a department store and that department store is now closed and they qualify for unemployment benefits. There are those people, and unbeknownst to me, there are those people who never knew to go get these benefits, and those benefits are there. And was also unbeknownst to me was, beyond the sphere of this channel always helping people and always having others help others, that there were so many more of you who were ready to help everyone else. And so in a massive surge overnight, my EIDL group of mentors, which initially was 3, grew to 5. And suddenly one person who volunteered to assist people with unemployment benefits and PUA questions, one, has grown to like 4. And now I'm getting more requests literally by the hour. I want to help. I want to help. I want to help other people get money. I want to help other people get money. You see, Nancy and Steve may not get it together. Nancy and Steve may be the bad mess of the day. Nancy and Steve may be the reason why haters drop in the comments, there's no deal, don't come back to me until September. Those people could stay over there. But the rest of us are going to stay here and are going to help one another get through this pandemic. So what I want to do is I want to explain to you where these videos are every day, and I'll explain to you what to think about. First, if you're every day, the third video on Afternoons LALATE is about PUA and UI. So I want you to start watching that video if you are an employee and have been laid off, furloughed, lost hours, or anything like that because of the pandemic. Or watch that video every day if you are an independent contractor, sole practitioner, and even had your hours reduced because of the pandemic, because that's a qualifying factor. Let's say you work 40 hours a week and now you're down to 12 hours a week. You qualify. I also want you to watch the final video of the day, which comes right up after this, which is EIDL. It's the last video of the day. It always has that thumbnail that says Evenings LALATE with the fisherman. That one is about the EIDL loan, which is up to $150,000. I want you to watch that as well, because those things are items that you may qualify for. As you sit back here and you feel reinvigorated and you feel inspired because other people are trying to help you, and you might be watching this video and you're ready to help others, this is what I need you to focus on with me right now. Get out a pen and paper. Let's go over this very slowly as I'm at the 14-minute mark, because I don't want to go into a 30-minute video. I want you to focus on this right now. Are you an independent contractor or sole practitioner, or were you that, before the pandemic hit? If the answer is yes, you need to start considering EIDL loan. That's EIDL loan. It's the application is done online. It's done at sba.gov. I'm not going to explain to you how to do the application. I'm going to do that in the next video coming right up after this. But that's the video you need to watch if you're an independent or sole practitioner. Next, if you're also an independent or sole practitioner, you need to start watching my PUA UI videos every day. The third video on Afternoons at LA, which is at 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, every day. It has it in the title. It usually has FPUC in the title. You can qualify for that as well. And that's a lot of money. That can be upwards of $600, $700 if you're impacted by COVID-19 before, from March all the way through July. It's a lot of money. It's many, many weeks. If those are the weeks you're impacted, it could be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. UI. Let me do my UI people. If you had a job and were laid off because of the pandemic, then you may qualify for unemployment assistance. Unemployment assistance is calculated on the same rate. So a lot of great news. Last, if you ever at any time hear of a grant program or a loan program, yesterday someone knew about a grant program in Colorado. Grant means it's free money to you. Drop it in the comments, because ultimately that helps other people. Daily, whenever a video posts, you always see a sticky. You see the first comment with a pin, or pinned, I guess you call it, pinned, like a pin, like pin a dog, pin the thing on the donkey, like, Nancy and Steve are trying to do. No, I'm just kidding. That pin comment has information of where to find those things and where to go around it. That's a pin comment by me, so watch that. But coming up next is EIDL. I want you to watch that video, because unbeknownst to me, a lot of you want to do EIDL and have never thought about it, never considered it. And the great news about this is that if you're an independent contractor, sole practitioner, and you watch that EIDL and you're like, I qualify, the turnaround time is extremely fast now. Literally, you can get funded within just a few days, if not 24. I did one where a person got $5,000-$10,000 as an Uber Lyft driver within overnight. I was helping him at 10 o'clock at night. He got it the next morning. It was literally that fast. So as you sit back tonight and you're very frustrated with Nancy and Steve, and I could have done 35 minutes about how they misrepresented things to you, lied to me, lied to everyone. I didn't do that, because that's not the purpose of this channel. This purpose of this channel is to get people in a better place, for me to help you and you to help others. And that's the spirit of this channel. And I hope we keep that spirit going forward. Go to the front of this channel, hit that subscribe button and that like button, because it's now more important than ever to know what these other instruments are you may not have ever considered. Yes, there was that stimulus check, but did you ever consider all these other things? A lot of money that you may qualify for. I need you to watch these videos and understand. I'm going to educate you. I want to empower you so you understand whether these are things you can get. I don't want you to just guess and ask, hey, LALATE, can I do this? Hey, I want you to be able to watch the video and know the answer for yourself. I want you to be able to listen to it and say, I got it. That's me. I can get that. Coming up next is EIDL. As always, hit that subscribe and alert button on the front of this channel so you can alert when a new video goes live. And coming up, our final video of the day. It's been a long day. I had to double record one time today. Yeah, can you imagine? I had to double record 2.5 hours of programming today because it was bad audio offset. So, thank you for the support today, and let's stay together, and we will get through this together. As always, have a great evening. Take care.